The NIL, it wasn't revised. This was just guidelines, was it not? Why did the NCAA and Gene Smith and his board decide they had to put guidelines on the NIL?
I think, good morning, Dan, but I think it goes back to what happened last summer, last July. You know, when the NCAA first put out these vague guidelines of what they expected out of NIL, I think, I don't want to call it a gotcha moment that they were trying to do, but you can't tell me that the NCAA didn't realize that, okay, they're going to use this as inducements. They're going to use this as a recruiting tool to get players on campus. Like, it's not just for the kids that are already on a roster. I think these guidelines that they put out pretty much just say what they've said for the previous year, which is boosters can't be involved in some of these activities, most of them with potential student athletes, Dan, and you can't pay them. But here's the thing. If you're going to throw these boosters out of the way and you're going to say these collectives that are there right now, that some of them are actually booster entities, you're going to get a lot of those handshake deals that we've seen for the last 30 years, dating back to SMU. We're going to see that these transactions happen when the players step foot on campus. So you can try, and we haven't even gotten to them going back and investigating folks. But what I'm getting at is here, if you look at an overall picture with guidelines and how they've set this up, they've said, hey, boosters, stay out of the way. Okay, nothing's new out of that. And I think also these collectives, too, when it comes down to it, the money that's being raised and where it's going, yes, there are going to be some figures out there they're going to go after. But I think right now, when it comes down to it, you're not really doing anything. You're covering your ass for something you messed up on 8 months ago.
John Ruiz was very public, you know, with his $400,000 a year for 2 years in a car to Nigel Pack. That was an inducement. Will Miami be investigated for this? Because he seems to be, Trey, he seems to be the poster child for this, no?
John Ruiz is somebody that is saying, hey, come try to get me if you want to. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
And is it an inducement? Yes. Okay. But here's where it's going to be clearly defined in that. Did he sign with that John Ruiz's company Life Wallet after he had signed his papers with Miami? Or did they have conversations beforehand and had a deal worked out? Which is, yes, they probably did. Let's be honest with each other here. But yeah, that's kind of what they're looking at. But they're also, those are the type of cases. Here's what I've always said. If you've got some big type of NIL deal, why are you putting it out there? Don't put it out there on social media for lawyers to be able to come after you or to be able to look at you just for anything or be able to question you for something like that. Dan, that's why I didn't understand why the $8 million football player, that is supposedly a future Tennessee quarterback. Why put that type of contract out there? I know you're trying to get self-pub and whatnot. I don't even know what kind of self-pub you can get, but now it might come back to bite you because you might have to answer a few questions. Not saying that you're going to get in trouble, but you might have to answer a few questions. So this is all very intriguing to see where it goes from here because pretty much what you're saying now, the NCAA is, you can't be involved in anything that our recruiting department does. You can't be involved in these collectives that are raising money for NIL deals. And you have to go back to the old model of where when a kid steps on campus, he can get a cookie deal or he can get a local grocery store deal or whatnot. It's not going to work. And if they try, Dan, I promise you, I talked to 5 lawyers yesterday who are ready for whenever the NCAA tries to say maybe this player is not eligible, or maybe they might do something to a university, they're ready to pounce, and they will because they have the ammunition for it.